A-morphous morphology. Let's look at another aspect of the internal structure of the word, the morphological structure of the word. The existence of morphological structure has certain controversies. We've just been talking about the internal structure of the word, but it has some challenges, it has some paradoxes. So let's look at what are these paradoxes or controversies. A number of proposals claim that words do not have internal structures. We've been talking about the internal structure of a word, about a head that gives its properties to the whole word, but here we are declaiming it that a word does not have an internal structure. Let's look at this influential theory that argues for this view that word does not have an internal structure. This theory was proposed by Anderson, who argues that words do not have internal structure. A number of arguments have been given against that analysis that proposed internal structure in the words. A structure is defined as a set of units organized in a particular way. We take an affix, suffix, root, and we organized in a certain way, as you have seen in undecidable, that we took a prefix, a suffix, and a base form and then made a word. This is how we generally make a structure of the word. A prerequisite for having a structure is identifying a set of units that can be organized. As I said, we need prefixes, we need suffixes, and we need base or the root of a word. This commits a theory that argues for word internal structure. Anderson's first argument against this view of word internal structure is the relevant units, that is morpheme, do not exist on the basis of the problems that the classical notion of the morpheme encounter. It is that the relevant units do not exist on the basis of the problems. The units that we are talking about, the unit prefix, suffixes, and the base form, he claims that they do not exist on the basis of the problems that the classical notion of morpheme encounter. What we talk about morpheme is a meaningful unit, right? Is a grammatical, the smallest grammatical unit. That is the first classical definition of the morpheme. Rather, Anderson's view of morphology is realization. Realization, a system where there are no one-to-one correspondences between the meaning and the form of the word. It means that what we've been talking about, the properties, semantic, grammatical properties, are challenged with this theory of realization, which says that there is no one-to-one correspondences between the meaning and the form of the word. It means that the forms of the word do not indicate any meaning. In a system like this, the meaning of a complex word cannot be established by identifying smaller units which contribute their meaning to the whole. For example, in this regard, the word cranberry is used. If we separate the two units, cran and berry, we do not get any meaning. There are certain other words like this. For example, carpet. If we separate these two, we do not find any meaning of car which is in the carpet or pet which is in the carpet. So there are many other examples as well. So his claim is that we do not find the meaning in cran or in berry or in any of the two which refers to or denotes the meaning of the whole word. The meaning cannot be explained by combining the meaning of the two. So this is his main proposition. A-morphous morphology proposes that word meaning cannot be reconstructed in that way because units we have segmented are not real. So we have taken words from different sides, and we have combined them. So according to A-morphous theory, Anderson, they are not real. These segmentation is not real. The word cannot be divided into smaller units, and by implication it is impossible to identify any internal structure. For him, we cannot slice the word into different units to get a word, right? Amorphous provides a second argument that shows the intuition of a speaker about meaning, form, correlation are reliable. So it is the speaker's intuition that he gives a certain meaning to a certain word, not on the basis of the meaning and the form of the word, how the word looks or made up. The argument has to do with phonoestheism, sequence of sound which evoke a particular meaning. So it is just because of the sequence of the sound that elicit a certain meaning, that evoke or create a certain meaning. It is not the unit, the morphemes, that help create the meaning in the formation of a word. So Anderson notices the words such as slide, slip, slither, slink and slippery because they all share the intuition of the most speaker and the part of their meaning and phonological sequence. For example, SL, because it refers to this L, SL or SL refers to their meaning to the speakers. So, but it would not be justified to propose that SL is a morpheme in English. So, according to him, in such words that he has given examples of, refers for their or indicates their meaning to the speaker because of their initial sounds. So, according to Anderson, it won't be justified that we should say that it is SL that is responsible for meaning. So if we say so, we then be talking of the same, that a certain part of the unit of the word refers to its meaning. So according to Anderson, there is nothing in the word like head that refers to its meaning or its categorization for grammatical use.